ex-wife left me an hour. 2 kids for her rich affair partner. Years later, she tried to buy back their love with expensive gifts when she wanted them to attend her wedding. But my kids saw right through her and refused to have anything to do with her. When we first got married, it felt like we were building something solid. We had met during college, bonded over common interests, and decided to tackle life together. I believe we were on the same page about raising a family and growing old side by side. I thought out the kids. Carter and Charlotte would grow up happy. At first, it was small things. More nights out with work friends. Phone calls taken in another room. A growing distance I couldn't put my finger on. I told myself it was just stress of the routine of life. But then the truth came out. She had been having an affair with a flashy businessman. She said he could provide her with a better future. That he understood her better than I ever could. The day she confessed, she tried to spin it as a clean slate. Her chance to finally be happy. But all I saw was destruction. Carter was 14 then, old enough to overhear our argument. He stormed out of the house. The moment he realized what was happening, Charlotte, only 11, clung to me, crying and asking, "Why doesn't Mommy love us anymore?" What could I say to that? After the divorce, she moved out and left the kids with me. At first, I expected she would try to make amends, fight for them, or at least show some remorse. But no, she packed her bags and jumped straight into her new life with Mr. Moneybags, as Carter bitterly called him. It wasn't just that she left. It was how she left. She said she wanted a fresh start, free from the baggage of what her words, not mine. She claimed the kids would understand one day and told me to stop being bitter. But I wasn't bitter. I was heartbroken. The kids didn't need any coaxing to take a stand. They refused her calls, ignored her texts, and even blocked her on social media. Carter, being the more outspoken one, said any mother who could abandon her family for a shiny new man isn't much of a mother to begin with. Charlotte didn't say much. She just clung to me. Her trust shattered. Months went by, and we adjusted to our new life. Just the 3 of us. It wasn't easy. I was juggling work and parenting alone. But we made it work. Called a mediocre life, because we had no other choice. Then came the announcement. Out of the blue, my ex-wife sent Carter and Charlotte a message saying she had something important to share. Neither of them cared, but out of curiosity, I skimmed through the email. She was engaged to the man she left us for, and the wedding was set for spring. She hoped we could be civil, and that the kids would be part of a big day. Carter laughed, a sharp, bitter laugh. That didn't belong to a boy his age. No way, he said. Not even if she bribed me with a new car. Charlotte didn't even look at the message. She simply said, "I have nothing to say," to a woman who only remembers us when it suits her. Weeks later, she started showing up again, acting as if she had never left. She made a big show of bringing gifts, designer clothes, expensive gadgets, tickets to amusement parks.
She said she wanted to rebuild
her relationship with the kids, now that her life was stable. Carter called her out immediately. "Funny," he said, "how your idea of rebuilding only starts once you found a man to bankroll you." The kids weren't having any of it. They barely acknowledged her. When she came around, every attempt she made was met with cold indifference. She had expected them to fall at her feet the moment she waved her credit card, but they saw through it. Frustrated, she came to me and blamed me. "You must have poisoned them against me," she said. "You filled their heads with lies." I told her the truth. I don't need to say a word. Your actions spoke louder than I ever could. By the time her wedding rolled around, she stopped asking the kids to attend. Instead, she threw herself into planning a lavish event, posting every detail online to prove she was living her best life. Carter and Charlotte barely noticed. They were too busy with school and friends, but I could tell her absence still weighed on them. Carter turned his anger into sarcasm and avoidance, while Charlotte grew quieter. Then, just when things seemed to settle, she tried again, this time bigger. A family vacation to Europe, brand new phones, shopping sprees. She said it was all because she loved them and wanted to make up for lost time. Carter, now 15, asked her the one question she couldn't answer. "Why did it take you so long? Why do you only care now that you have everything you wanted? And why do you think money can replace the nights you weren't there when we needed you the most?" Charlotte, gentler than her brother, simply said, "I don't trust you. I can't accept gifts from someone who couldn't even keep her promises." Watching them stand their ground, I felt proud but also sad. They were so young, yet carried so much hurt. All I could do was stand with them, no matter how many times she tried to worm her way back in. But little did I know, her attempts were only just beginning. She became more aggressive. She sent pictures of her outings with her fiancé and his kids, with captions like, "This could be you too, if you just join us." She begged them to play along with the story of an amicable split because her fiancé didn't know the truth about our divorce. One night, Carter showed me a message. Well, she asked him to be polite. At a dinner she had planned. Carter was furious. I'm not going to sit at a table and pretend everything's fine, just so she can impress her new man. He said. Charlotte was quieter. She said, "It makes me sad that Mom cares more about what he thinks than how we feel." Despite my warnings, she forced them to attend that dinner. She even tried to ambush them with a group photo to post online as her perfect family. Carter walked out halfway through. Charlotte broke down in tears. That was the final straw. After that night, both kids refused to see her. Carter blocked her number. Charlotte told me, "I don't want to visit her anymore, not even for the holidays." I told them, "I'll support whatever decision you make." The rejection only made her more desperate. First came the guilt trips, long texts about how much she missed them, and how they were punishing her unfairly. Then came the lies, telling friends and family that I was turning the kids against her. Finally, she crossed a line. She sent her fiancé to talk to Carter after school, as if a stranger could tell him how to forgive his own mother. Carter came home angrier than I'd ever seen. "I don't need some guy telling me how I feel about my own mom," he shouted. It was clear she still didn't understand. Forgiveness isn't something you can force her by. It's earned. The kids didn't need me to fight their battles anymore, and she had never tried to earn it. They were perfectly capable of defending themselves. But as their father, I promised one thing. I would never let anyone. My ex-wife has been making things harder than they need to be. She sputtered about how the kids were being unreasonable and accused me of encouraging their hostility. Even their mother undermined their right to feel hurt and betrayed. I didn't lose my temper, but I didn't sugarcoat it either. I told her it would take more than showing up with a flashy car and weekend plans to earn their respect again. She didn't take it well. She threw the same accusations she always does. And I finally asked her if she really believed she could walk away from our family by cheating and marrying her affair partner and waltz back and like nothing happened. She stormed off, screaming about ungrateful kids and how I was brainwashing them. Shouted back lazily that the kids didn't care enough to be grateful to a cheating mother. She almost tripped at that. The breaking point came during a parent-teacher conference at Charlotte's school. We hadn't been in the same room since her unannounced visit. She looked polished, but her smile faltered when neither Carter nor Charlotte acknowledged her. Afterward, she cornered me in the hallway, accusing me of poisoning the kids against her. I told her the kids didn't need my help to see the truth. They lived it. They remembered the nights she was gone, the broken promises, times she prioritized her happiness over their stability. She argued that it wasn't betrayal, just a choice for her happiness. She said the kids were too young to understand adult relationships. Told her she was fooling herself. Kids may not know every detail. They know when they've been abandoned. Carter remembered her skipping his soccer games. Charlotte remembered her missing the school play. She begged me to intervene. Her actions spoke for themselves, to remind the kids that she was still their mother. I refused. Forgiveness doesn't come from gifts or excuses. It comes from consistent effort and accountability, neither of which she had shown. She snapped, accusing me of pretending to be perfect and using the kids to punish her. I told her plainly, I was the father who stayed. I was the father who showed up every day in the chaos she left behind. In the end, I threw her own words back. The kids were prioritizing her happiness over her, and she didn't understand the complexities of being a child. The kids had been quiet for a while. Carter focused on sports and studies. Charlotte poured herself into her sketch pad. Then one evening, they broke their silence. Carter asked about Mom's life. She lived in a big house. If her husband was rich. I told them yes. Her life was comfortable. But money isn't happiness. Charlotte cut in, saying it was because she didn't love us enough. Those words hit me hard. I reassured her Mom's choices weren't their worth. Then Carter asked how I felt when she cheated. I told him honestly. It felt like a punch in the gut. Losing a partner. Realizing life wasn't real. Over time, the pain faded. Replaced by determination to give them stability. They asked if I loved her. I said love changes. Once trust is gone, it turns into something else. Respect for the past maybe, or just a wish for her happiness elsewhere. Carter asked if anger was wrong. I told him anger is normal, but it shouldn't consume him. Charlotte then asked if hating her made them bad. That was the hardest question. I told them hate is heavy. It weighs you down. They didn't need to forgive, but they didn't need to let her define their lives. They asked if I hated her. I admitted I was angry once, but I learned to let go. Then they surprised me, asking if I'd remarry. I told them I didn't know, but if I ever did, my loyalty to them would never change. Charlotte asked if I'd be like their mom. I promised her nothing could make me abandon them. Finally, Charlotte asked if I regretted marrying Mom. I told her no. Without that marriage, I wouldn't have them, and they're the best thing ever. Charlotte leaned on my shoulder. That gesture meant everything. Sunday morning, Danielle showed up, unannounced with her mother. It felt like a storm. I stepped outside, but Danielle insisted on coming in. Inside, the kids froze. No greetings, no smiles. Just silence. Danielle told them to grow up. Act civil. Her mother went on a tirade about respect and family values. Carter cut her off. Combat sharp. He asked if she taught Danielle to cheat. He asked if lying and abandoning family was a lesson passed down. The room fell silent. Danielle tried to defend herself, but her mother called them brats. Told her to shut up. Carter stood, saying they weren't welcome anymore. Since Danielle divorced me, she wasn't their mother. Mother wasn't grandmother. We're strangers now. Charlotte added she didn't need a mother who thought money could replace loyalty, nor a grandmother who enabled such behavior. Danielle tried to plead, but Carter shut her down. I don't want to be fixed. I want you to leave. Danielle's mother accused me of orchestrating it. I told them both they couldn't respect my kids. They had no place here. Leave before I call someone. I closed the door. Cara and Charlotte thanked me for standing up for them. We're in this together. Since then, Danielle's attempts have dwindled. Her mother hasn't shown again. The kids are doing well.